there's nothing on the voltmeter is probably because I do not have anything hooked to the alternator. I plan on using a PWM controller to run my alternator. Link in the description below on how I'm doing that. Alright, but let's get on with how did I end up with GM truck gauges hooked to an LS4 out of an Impala in my Celica. What did and did not work? Should be quite simple then. We have GM wiring, we have Toyota wiring, and all we have to do is bring it all together with a little bit of our own magic. And we end up with a Celica GT-SS. Look for a link up here. You can see what I did to make all this stuff here happen. We've got a lot more to go, but I'm not even sure if this works right here. Well, I mean, it did start and run once on this part of the wiring harness, so we've got that going for us. All right, none of that worked. Wiring it to the Toyota Celica instruments did not work at all for me. I didn't get any response instrument-wise at all. So what I'm going to do is wire it to the dash that came out of the truck. I watched a video a long time ago. I'll put a link in the description below. A guy hooked his truck dash up to his PCM. Seemed to work for him. I've got a wiring harness all marked out from this wiring diagram. Hopefully this will work a little bit better. What I really want to do by doing this is just make sure that everything I've got is working and that I have outputs that actually work. I don't know what I'm going to do yet for an actual dash. I may reconfigure this to fit inside of this space. I don't know. We'll see what happens later on down the road. But for now, I've got a plan, and I'm going to execute said plan. Plan X or Z, I don't know. The only thing I am sure of is that I am running out of plans. So there was nothing left to do but build a beautiful custom instrument cluster support and press on with trying to attach some wires together and hope that it might work. So this is my beautiful wiring work here. No insulation on anything. Hey, but it works for testing. I've wired all these wires to the wiring harness that I built. You can see the wiring harness I built in another video that I made. I'll leave a link to it in the video description. Anyway, all these wires are hooked as indicated on the wiring diagram chart that I will include photos of, and everything works, like I said, except for voltmeter, and that's because I have nothing hooked to my alternator at all yet. These wires are all my positives and grounds that run the lights and ignition, stuff like that, and all these wires are what it takes to make the gauges operate. This purple wire is my jumper because I didn't include that wire in any of my wiring harnesses, so I had to jump that all the way back, but I'll put that into one of the wiring harness plugs so it's actual wiring harness with all this stuff. And I don't know if I'm going to use these gauges or not, but like I said before, I just wanted to find out if I had all the outputs that would make gauges work. I may go with a more expensive, some kind of electronic digital version of gauges, or I may take these and try to make them fit into my dash so I have a somewhat stock appearing dash. All right, fuel gauge test. And now I'll move the float. On the list of handy tools to make for yourself, this is just a piece of trailer light wiring that I put some clamps on the end. It's about 6 feet long. Makes a handy jumper wire, also known as a suicide wire, no fuses. This is my shorter one. It's a little more high-tech. It has a fuse in it. It's like a 30 amp fuse, but hey, at least it'll blow before it burns the wire up. All right, so many activities going on here. Got a bunch of really nice wiring there that's not even got tape over it. Some wiring diagrams we've been going through. We've hooked up the serial data and the OBD wires to the dash, which is mounted in its beautiful custom dash mount. And looky what we have. Hold on a second. Try to get this key turned here with my left hand. I have no good with left-handed stuff. And we have a no start. Power off, Power on. Look at there. Tack, speedo, and oil pressure. Don't have voltage yet. And water temperature. Alright, got the speedometer and tachometer. Onward and upward. Well, I've got wiring in it. It's working for the most part. It works anyway, and it's not very neat yet, but we can get that all ironed out. Well, hopefully somebody finds this information a little bit helpful. Like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. Thanks to the people who have given all my videos a thumbs up, and thanks to the people who have shared my videos. That gets the message out there that this project actually exists. And thanks to my regular viewers, all 13 of you. You guys are the best. That's all for now. Did somebody say you've only got brakes on the front wheels, so don't do anything stupid? Oh well.